We are back at it yet again with another Premier League predictions video. This time around we will be going over the Game Week 27 matches, and the standouts this week are Arsenal versus Tottenham and Manchester City versus Newcastle. So it's going to be super solid. Now let's get straight into the games. Now first off, we have Aston Villa versus Leeds United. This game should be quite an interesting one. So let's get started with Aston Villa. They've been doing quite well this season. At the moment, they're sitting in 3rd place, 7 points behind Arsenal. And their form as of recent has been not too bad, as the last game they played Brighton and they won 1-0. And the goal came from a own goal actually, but Villa had 0 shots on target. Now this team really needs to improve because the performances as of recent, they haven't been the best. But on to Leeds United, they're not doing the best this season. At the moment in the league, they're like 15th place. Their form as of recent has been pretty decent. But last game they played Chelsea and they drew 2-2. It was a great response after being 2-0 down against Chelsea. They brought it back to 2-2, and I believe Okafor came on and he made a difference. I believe he scored the 2nd goal for Leeds United. He is a very important player for them, but my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Aston Villa. Moving on to Brentford versus Brighton, this should be quite the solid game. So let's get started with Brentford. They've been doing quite well this season, sitting in 7th place, which is impressive considering lots of people had them going down this season. Form wise, they've been doing quite well. Like last game they played Arsenal and they drew 1-1. As an Arsenal fan though, I gotta say they should have won that match. Igor Thiago was causing problems for our defenders. He could have had a brace or a hat trick, but he also won the player of the month, by the way, which is unbelievable. What a month for him. But on to Brighton, they've been doing not the best this season, sitting quite low in 14th place in the league. Form wise, it's been quite rough for them. As I mentioned before, last game they played Aston Villa and they lost 1-0. Now that goal came from a Brighton own goal, so it's very tough. But I gotta say, Minta, he was on the bench against Aston Villa. I'm not sure why, because whenever he comes off the bench, he's very impactful. Just straight running at his man, cutting inside, trying to just get the ball into the net. But with the quality they have, I think they should be higher up in the table. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Brentford. Moving on to Chelsea versus Burnley, this game surely goes only one way. So let's get started with Chelsea. They've been doing quite decent this season, sitting in 5th place at the moment, which isn't too bad. Rossinier has been doing quite a good job so far for Chelsea. Chelsea went 2-0 up with goals from Joao Pedro and Palmer, but they ended up getting a 2-2 draw against Leeds. They did lose the lead, and they lost the 3 points as well. Now on to Burnley, they've been doing not the best. It's not looking good as they are sat in 19th place at the moment. Last game they played Crystal Palace and they won 3-2, which is a pretty solid win. There is some hope for them, but Lerma scored an own goal, so it gave Burnley the lead and basically the win as well. But a 9-point gap between them and Forest in 17th place, so it's possible, but they need to keep winning their next few matches. But my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Chelsea. Moving on to West Ham versus Bournemouth. Honestly, this will be a very interesting game. So let's get started with West Ham. They're doing not the best this season, sitting around 18th place in the league, only 3 points off Forest in 17th place, which is good. The last game they played Manchester United and they drew 1-1. West Ham were quite good in that match actually. The second half though, I feel like they tried to defend the lead, and well, they defended it quite well, but Sesko scored in the 96th minute. Man United stole those 3 points away from them and only gave them 1. Well, on to Bournemouth, they're doing not too bad this season. At the moment, they are sitting in 9th place. They were 14th place, I believe, a few weeks ago, so that's some good progress right there. They are moving up slowly in the table, but last game they played Everton and they won 2-1. Bournemouth, very clinical in that match, scoring 2 out of the 3 shots that they had, and Ryan has been absolutely balling as of recent. I think he scored in the past 2 matches. That's a guy you gotta keep an eye on. But my prediction is gonna be a 2-2 draw between the two. Moving on to Man City versus Newcastle. This game is gonna be absolutely huge. So let's get started with Man City. They've been doing quite well this season. At the moment, they're sitting in 2nd place, just 4 points behind Arsenal. Like last game, they played Fulham and they won 3-0. Semenyo scoring again. This guy is on absolute fire. Haaland back to scoring ways as well. It's looking like they are finding their feet slowly, and bringing in Guehi and Semenyo was huge for them because now they're back in the title race. They could honestly win it if my club Arsenal do slip up a few more times, but they're still in the title race and they do have a chance to win it. Now Newcastle, they've been doing not too bad this season. In terms of form, it's been a little bit on and off. At the moment, they're sitting in 10th place, which is okay. The last game they played Tottenham and they won 2-1. They did fairly well in that match as Jacob Ramsey scored in that match, and maybe we could see Newcastle potentially push for a European place from 10th place. It's still possible, but it's going to be tough. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Man City. Moving on to Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. This game should be going only one way, honestly. So let's get started with Nottingham Forest. They've been doing not the best this season. At the moment, they're sitting in around 17th place, so they're very close to relegation. The last game they played Wolves and they drew 0-0. I also want to mention they did sack Sean Dyche last week, so the new coach coming in is Vitor Pereira, the old Wolves coach. Could he make a difference? I do think so. With this style of play, it's very nice to watch, but will he get results? We're gonna have to see. Well, on to Liverpool. They've been doing not too bad this season. At the moment, they're sitting in 6th place, and their form as of recent has been pretty decent. Now, last game they played Sunderland and they won 1-0. They did really well in that match and they broke Sunderland's home unbeaten streak, which they're the only team to do that, obviously. But Van Dijk scoring the only goal and scoring the winner in that match. But for this match specifically, I see Liverpool winning this match 3-0. Moving on to Crystal Palace versus Wolves. This game should be quite a good one. So let's get started with Crystal Palace. They've been doing not too bad this season. At the moment, they're sitting in around 13th place, and last game they played Burnley and they lost 3-2. That is a big yikes. Like, their new signing Strand Larsen coming from Wolves scoring a brace, but it wasn't enough. They lost 3-2, but Strand Larsen is going to be back facing his old team in Wolves. But Palace have got to turn their form around, I'm not gonna lie. But on to Wolves, they're doing not the best, actually horribly, for being honest. The worst team in the league this season. They're now fighting and pushing for results, so we're still seeing better performances from them, but at the moment they're sitting in 20th place on just 9 points, just single digits still. The last game they played Nottingham Forest and they drew 0-0. Stats wise, they got dominated like crazy. I don't know how Nottingham Forest didn't score, but this Wolves team, they have to fight and they have to give everything in these remaining matches if they want to somehow get out of the relegation zone. But my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Sunderland versus Fulham. This game is going to be a great one. So let's get started with Sunderland. They have been doing quite well this season. They're a very underrated side coming from the championship. At the moment, they're sitting in 11th place in the league. Like last game, they played Liverpool and they lost 1-0, which gave them their first loss at the Stadium of Light. And they have been missing a very key player in Xhaka. On to Fulham, they're doing alright this season so far. At the moment, they're sitting in 12th place, which is pretty decent. Form-wise, it's actually been rough for them in recent weeks. Like last game, they played Man City and they lost 3-0. And honestly, the stats were quite even. City just took their chances in that match. And this could be where Fulham turned their form around against Sunderland. But by the way, I gotta say, Harry Wilson has been a great player for them this season. He's been scoring free kicks, long shots, just pretty clutch goals. But my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Tottenham versus Arsenal, the North London derby is back. It's going to be absolutely fire, but this game is being played at Tottenham Stadium and they're not too good at home. Let's get started with Tottenham. They have been doing not the best this season at all. They're sitting in 16th place, by the way, just a few points off relegation. Their form has been quite horrendous at home, especially as I mentioned. But last game they played Newcastle and they lost 2-1, which had Thomas Frank sacked after that match, and Igor Tudor, the old Juventus manager, has came in, and Spurs fans, honestly, they were waiting for Thomas Frank to go, and I could see why. The style of play was horrendous, but obviously they have quality players there. Let's see what this manager Igor Tudor could do in his first match against Arsenal. Now onto Arsenal, they've been doing quite well this season, sitting top the league by 4 points. At the moment, their form has been pretty decent as of recent. Like last game, they played Brentford and they drew 1-1. I'm not gonna lie, we should have lost that game, and Brentford were the better side in that match as well. We went defensive in that second half. I don't know why, because we had a 1-0 lead, but Brentford came out firing in the second half. They were a lot better most of the match. We only had like a 15-minute spell, I would say, but we can't be playing like that if we want to be champions of the Premier League. We need to play more offensive, not just sit back and just hold the lead. Like, you can't be doing that. But my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Moving into the final match, Everton versus Manchester United. This game should be yet another good one. So let's get started with Everton. They've been doing quite alright this season. At the moment, they're sitting in 8th place, which is quite good. And last game they played Bournemouth and they lost 2-1. Jake O'Brien getting a red card. That was a terrible challenge from him, I'm not gonna lie. But Ndiaye scored in that match as well. I believe it was a penalty. Still, he has been so good for them this season. His dribbling is immense, just the quality he has. I won't be surprised if he leaves to a bigger club in the summer, but they are missing Grealish still due to his injury, so that's a big miss. But they could give Manchester United a fight. But onto Manchester United, they're doing quite well honestly this season. They're sitting in 4th place. It's kind of crazy. They've been quite good like recently. Their form has been pretty good as well recently. Like last game they played West Ham, they drew 1-1 though, and I won't lie, West Ham was giving them quite a game. Manchester United struggled to break them down, but they got a goal very late on in Fergie time. Sesko scored in the 96th minute, and I gotta give credit to Carrick. He's done a very solid job at Manchester United so far. He's beaten Arsenal, he's been in Man City, like it's crazy. He's been in some of the top teams. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Manchester United. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions for these matches. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.